Okay, so now we're going to talk about the history of film in more detail. So, we talked about the Zoopraxiscope. Zoo was for animal, because he was, making a film with a horse. And we've already talked about these other items. We also need to recognize that without the invention of photography, there would be no film. So, in France, this fellow invented the kinetograph in 1839. Another Frenchman invented the Daguerreotype, which is a kind of photograph, but the impression is actually made on a metal surface, I think tin. Here's an example of a daguerreotype that I own. It's sitting in my bookshelf. This is an ancestor of mine, on my mother's side of the family. This was taken in 1832, and this is a daguerreotype, an early kind of photograph. Interesting fellow. It would appear. I believe his last name was Simpson. Okay, there was something called the Calotype, another type of photograph. And we've already talked about Thomas Edison and the kinetoscope, and where you're looking one at a time. People pay their nickel, usually, and can look at this machine into a box and see projection of different parts of life. Here is, I'm going to see if I can just play this now while you watch it. I don't think it's too long. Let's see. 3 minutes.
Further inspiration had been found during a visit to Paris in 1889, where Edison had met French scientist Etienne Jules Marey, whose chronophotography captured 12 consecutive images per second of a long from film. And this influenced Edison to go back and
Okay, and in 1895, the Lumiere brothers, the word means light, by the way, in French, Lumiere, patented the cinematograph. Remember, we said that was the origin of the word cinema, moving, capturing an image, movement, capturing movement is kind of the way the word is put together. And in 1896, the American movie business was born when Edison Vitascope premiered in New York City. And so the Lumiere brothers were actually now, rather than having you watch a film by yourself looking into a box, these were projected on the sheets, I think, to start with. Here's one of the first films they made, and this really is the modern film, projected, larger than life. And when this was shown, the audience was terrified at the end. See if you can watch it and if you're terrified. So this is one long shot from a stationary camera. There's no cutting from this to that. It's just putting the camera in one spot and watching life. And where they were scared wasn't actually at the end. It was when the train was coming towards the room. They all thought a train might be coming from somewhere to hit them. They didn't know. They'd never seen anything like this before. Let's watch another film on Edison's Vitascope. If I can get this thing to work.
Convinced that the constant interruption of having to move from one machine to another detracted from the viewing experience, Dixon and others on Edison's team urged him to develop a projection device, but the inventor was reluctant. If projectors replace kinetoscopes, there will be a use for the pen in the whole United States. That's not common. In the end, others would beat him. In early 1895, French inventors Auguste and Louis Lumiere introduced their projection system to wild acclaim in Paris. Later that year, yet another system, called the Vitascope, was unveiled at the final stage of its design. Also, larger than life figures appeared on screen. Vitascope